So I got an interesting question from my Instagram DM. How do you manage to do a content next to a full-time job? And if you're new to this channel, hi, I'm Dragana. I am a lead animator at Steamroller Animation, where I'm animating full-time and leading a team of animators. So a question normally came up, how do you have time to do content so consistently and so much? And of course, on top, I have my online program where I teach animators and studios how to launch their IPs or promote their passion projects on social media. And on top of that, I'm also wrapping my short film, Leap of Faith, that's coming out early next year. So, how am I able to do all of it? Is basically by splitting content into different buckets that are complementary with each other and that are feeding into each other. And by having the system, I'm basically able not to have burnout anymore. Or if I notice the burnout creeping in, I know how to stop it and I know how to recognize that certain format on social media has lost its fire, and I know when it's the time to transition into a different format or to experiment with something else. So basically, my three buckets or my three main formats are YouTube long format, short format, vertical videos, and carousels. So my first format or my first bucket is my short form videos, of course. That's my bread and butter now, since that's how I started into social media space, and it's become my most comfortable format because I know how to make a viral video that has at least 200, 300 views, and I know how to help someone else make it as well. So this format for me today is something where I mostly experiment or where I want to test out an idea or I want to tell a specific story in maybe a different way. And another reason why I really like short form videos is because I often get to test certain trends, like stitching your microphone on a piece of prop. And that prop can be anything from your fork to a dinosaur's toy. So I really like playing in that way and seeing how the audience reacts to it. And is that because just because something is trendy or viral doesn't mean it will flow well into your own content. So I really like doing that in a short form video because it can tell me also primarily for me, do I like doing that? Do I like playing with these silly gadget toys on my mic, which is not really, this mic is not even turned on. I'm using this mic. But it's kind of, that's why I see it as a playground. It's just a place where I can test, experiment, play, and create. And whatever I learn, whatever I fail to do or succeed to do, all of that I'm actually plugging in my long form video where I'm sharing with you guys. And you haven't seen even the tip of the iceberg, what's coming in terms of long format videos and what I want to share with you. I want to offer so much of free, valuable knowledge that you can apply this to your passion project you're promoting on social media. So basically, everything I learn and everything I know about short format and social media, I'm just sharing in long format. And I enjoy the long format because it doesn't take me so much to prepare. I don't have to write a script for it. I just sit and turn on the camera and talk. And another reason why I like long format is because I'm actually practicing public speaking. That's also a separate skill than a skill of writing and editing for short format videos. And it's very important when you want to talk to clients or potential brand partnerships that you know how to speak and how to present yourself. So I find long format videos as a really good exercise in doing that. Plus, how can you take a topic and condense it so it's actually valuable, has potent information, no fluff, no cuts, minimum editing, but has a point to it. So I don't have to prolong it. So I don't have to stretch it. So all of that is skill. And the more repetition you have it, the better you're going to be at it normally. So that's why I do it. But I also record YouTube in batches. So usually I would record 5 to 6 videos, maybe sometimes even more, sometimes less. And then I would have a content for like a month or a month and a half with every week dipping into. Now, where carousels come in, which is my format for Instagram and LinkedIn, on LinkedIn, I basically just reshare it. I don't make custom content just for LinkedIn. Basically, whatever I make for Instagram, I just upload it to LinkedIn. Carousels are my format that I can do really quickly and on the fly, almost like my Google Keep Notes. I basically just jot down an idea, idea I would get either from, I don't know, reading a book or experimenting from my short form videos, or some knowledge I learned from promoting my own short film and how I got tens of millions of views online on my videos. So either carousels are either going to be shared knowledge from my previous experience or answering to some of my clients' questions, because a lot of my free content is actually for my clients and I want to keep supporting them even though they're no longer in the program. I want to keep helping them with my free content in their journey of promoting a short film or a game or developing an IP or whatever they might be doing. Another reason why carousels are really good, because they force you to think in slides or in pages. And how can you, again, say a condensed, potent information in one slide? Plus design it so it looks good, it's appealing, you don't overwhelm with information. So every slide basically needs to lead the viewer to the next slide. So it's also an exercise in how do you induce curiosity, how do you induce suspense, so they actually watch till the very last slide in the carousel. So it's also a separate skill, but for me it's really good because whatever I fleshed out in a carousel, that's already fresh in my mind and I can record a YouTube video on it. So that's why I don't need to write a script for YouTube videos, because I already write it in a carousel post. It's just more expanded in a long format. But basically, if you're seeing a long format on this topic, you're probably going to see it in a carousel post if you follow me on LinkedIn or on Instagram. And how am I able to keep the content so consistent is by basically keeping it very personal, not in terms of sharing my private life as much, but more in terms of, if I'm reading a book about fitness and exercise that might be a topic that interests me in one particular season of my life, I don't want that to be cut off or amputated from me. Almost like I don't want to let animation or social media or whatever topic I'm currently active in to be my whole, to cover my whole personality, sort of. So if I'm reading a book about fitness, like I was reading this book from Peter Attia, Outlive. Yes, it was a book about how to exercise so you get to live 100 years and all of that. But what I gauged from that book was about personal branding, about marketing, about copywriting. So all of these elements I can pool and share them with my audience that is actually interested in marketing, personal branding, promoting their short film or whatever it might be. But this way I don't have to amputate parts of myself, because I have eyes to see, in books particularly, what is an invisible layer of that book. Like, what is something the writer said that wasn't necessarily said in words, but it's actually hidden, and only someone who is watching from a marketing angle can see it. So that's why I like reading books, and I like doing other stuff, but seeing it from a marketing angle, seeing it from a social media perspective, and sharing that with my clients and with my audience. If I didn't kept content personal, if I didn't if I kept seeing content as part of my job or something, that would have burned out. That wouldn't have lasted long. So that's kind of my thinking about it. Hope you find it useful, and let me know if you have any other questions. I can answer that in the next video. And until then, I'll see you later. Bye.